Welcome to Sundays with Simone. We're in the studio today and excited about starting a series called The Miseducation of Wealth. I'm Simone, creator of Dollars and Common Sense. DCS is a community created for women to recalibrate their lives in order to build and sustain physical, emotional, and financial wealth. Today I'm sitting with Ruby, and we're talking about playing small and what it cost us. Ruby, thank you for being here.
Hello, Simone, and all you lovely listeners. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm glad we are starting this series talking about playing small because survival is not wealth.
Yes, ma'am. Let's get right into it. I think it's important to tell the listeners that I started this podcast and my YouTube channel because I reached a desperate point in my life and needed to do better. I feel a little vulnerable saying that, but I'm a Black woman in my 40s and my money ain't right. I have 2 children and one has special needs, and his needs prevent me from having a traditional 9-to-5 job. So I pieced together my work and income. And late last year, I hit a rough patch where I wasn't able to piece enough together. My income was short, and my expenses were tall.
I get that. Speak your truth, girl. No one's here to judge you because we've all been there at one time or another.
So I decided I was going to try content creation, particularly on YouTube. And since I know that YouTube is a long game, I thought I need to do my taxes so I can get that tax refund. My refund would give me some breathing room and help pay down my bills. I was already dabbling with AI content creation, so I said to myself, I wonder if I can do my taxes faster and better using AI. My taxes were completed the first week of February, the same day I got my 2025 W-2 and 1099. After using ChatGPT and Gemini to sort through my expenses and tax deductions at lightning speed, I was like, wait a minute, I really can use AI to change my financial future. And then I started exploring different ways I could make money using AI.
What I hear you saying is that you had a pivot moment. There was pressure, and you decided to face it instead of hiding from it or succumbing to it. You decided to stop playing small. That is all it takes. A moment where you are fit to be tired, tired of being tired. Then you made a decision. I'm going to use AI to make more money. And this podcast and your YouTube channel is your action. How are you feeling about the forthcoming results?
Listen, girl. I feel like I am finally taking control of my life. I can visualize the transformation I'm stepping into. I see myself and how I operate differently in the world.
It sounds like you've had an identity shift.
I have.
What you are saying is really powerful. That's where changing your life starts.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you. I've been bubbling with ideas since I made this identity shift. For instance, the other day, while I was washing dishes, I realized I needed to start this podcast.
Tell me more.
It was a Mel Robbins podcast, and while the topic was about motivation, the guest speaker said something that really resonated. He said, "We aren't taught fundamental things about how our minds work." And that gave me pause. I thought to myself, we aren't taught financial well-being either. We receive no formal education in how to spend our money. We are out here picking up tips on how to manage our money using social media, television, or simply following in the footsteps of our parents.
Oh, Lord, bless the children out here. We didn't have social media when we were growing up. I can't even imagine how the babies are going to understand all of this if they are looking up to these influencers who only show a one-sided way of life.
Exactly. But enough about me. Ruby, you are in a very different place, and I'm sure our listeners want to know more about how you did it. You've built multiple streams of income, you invest, you operate with leverage. So how did you learn to stop playing small?
Let me say this, because growing up, playing small looked smart. It was safe and humble, and it's what our parents told us to do. They had fought for basic human rights, so it was understood that we shouldn't ask for too much or go against the grain. And especially as Black women, outshining others was either futile or dangerous at work. But here's what I realized: times have changed, and playing small protects stability, but it's a systematic way of ensuring women do not build wealth.
Amen.
There are specific ideas that govern how I move now, and they're simple, but they definitely go against the grain and rub some people who are used to having all the economic power the wrong way. I realize that wealth responds to ownership, not effort. I stopped trying to be the hardest worker in the room. I started asking, what do I own in this room? Do I own equity, intellectual property, systems, or am I just contributing labor? Those questions changed everything.
So you're saying hard work isn't enough?
Hard work is admirable, but hard work without ownership builds someone else's wealth. And that's where many high achieving women get stuck. We're overqualified, over responsible, and over functioning, but under positioned. And nobody taught us to check for position.
Okay, that hit. We need to check our position in relation to others in the room. At my last office job, I was constantly comparing myself to my colleagues because I was the hardest working manager in my office and the least paid. I had less time with the company, but shouldn't they reward results instead of mere existence?
That's exactly it. You were spinning your wheels, burning your energy, contributing to their bottom line while you were also their smallest expense. Once you know these things, you need to start positioning yourself to operate differently. Your business and your life expand to the level of decisions you're willing to make. $1 million ideas don't come from playing safe. They come from thinking wildly and deciding boldly. I had to stop asking, can I, and start asking, why not me? That's a shift from permission to power.
I love how you said that. It's a shift from permission to power. It sort of goes back to the idea of an identity shift, because these aren't small mental changes you're talking about.
Absolutely. Wealth isn't just about money, it's how you see yourself in the world. If you see yourself as temporary, you'll build temporary income. If you see yourself as powerful, you'll build assets. That's why playing small is so dangerous. It shrinks your self concept.
And I think a lot of women confuse playing small with being humble.
Exactly. Humility is internal. Let's try looking at it this way. If you have the capacity to build more, but you choose comfort instead, that's not humility. That's survival conditioning.
I chose to play small for so long. It's hard to admit it, but it's true. I felt like I couldn't finish projects, so I never started them. And when I did start projects, I didn't have the confidence to push past the difficult parts. And so I eventually quit, even when I was working on ideas that could have turned into $1 million income generators. Nothing worth having or creating is ever easy. Friction during the process is guaranteed.
100%.
So what would you say to the women like me who are listening and know they are playing small?
I would say this gently. I know you want more. You should. You should expect more, charge more, and keep going until you get more. You are not greedy for charging more. More income will open opportunities to help the people you love and fund charitable organizations. That is how we change our lives and the world. You have been trained to survive. The miseducation of wealth is generational and ancestral. It started when no one taught you how to leverage your time, energy, and money to make more money. No one told you that you deserve more. You didn't think you could have more, so survival mode was programmed into your thoughts, and that's how you move through the world. Let me tell you about a friend of mine. I'm going to call her Samantha to protect her identity. Samantha works in healthcare administration. Solid job, good benefits, stable. The kind of six-figure job your family is proud of. But here's the thing. She has this brilliant idea, and I mean brilliant. A scalable online training platform for women navigating healthcare careers, courses, mentorship, digital resources, the works.
Wow.
And it's not hypothetical. She's already tested it. She's helped people informally. The demand is there. Every time she shares advice in private, women ask her, "Do you have a course? Do you coach?" She is literally on the brink of her financial breakthrough.
Come on, Samantha. You gotta get past your mental block. Do it for your family. Do it for me.
Exactly. But she won't launch publicly.
Been there. Got that t-shirt.
She keeps tweaking the website, adjusting the logo, rewriting the curriculum, taking one more certification. And when I ask her why she hasn't launched, she says, "I don't want my coworkers to see it. What if my boss notices I'm not as focused at work? What if it fails?"
Hmm.
Yep, that part. That's playing small, dressed up as professionalism. She's not lacking strategy. She's lacking permission.
That hits.
Because let's be honest, her job feels safe, predictable, structured. Her vision, that requires visibility. Invisibility feels dangerous when you've been trained to survive.
So what did you tell her?
I told her gently, if you have the capacity to build something bigger and you're shrinking it to stay comfortable, that's not humility, that's conditioning. She doesn't need more certifications. She needs a decision. I'm working with her. She is getting there.
Wow, this thing is so deeply ingrained in our psyche.
And here's a deeper layer. She thinks staying quiet protects her, but every year she delays, she's compounding missed opportunities, giving other people a chance to copy or steal her idea, and to make the seven figures that belong to her idea. Wealth responds to ownership, not hesitation.
So her playing small isn't about skill, it's about visibility.
Exactly. And that's what so many women don't realize. At the moment, she thinks her stable job is enough, but she doesn't have any money stashed away for an unexpected emergency. In a post COVID world, we know we need to be prepared for the unexpected. It's essential.
So true.
Every woman's expansion looks different. For one woman, it's starting the side hustle. For another, it's submitting the promotion application. For another, it's finally scaling the business she's been keeping manageable. The behavior looks different, but the inner dialogue, thoughts, and actions are the same. Stop shrinking.
Message received, girlfriend. I love this for Samantha and for anyone listening who needs to hear it. I've never really thought of the lack of education as miseducation, but that makes sense. You know what I love about this? It takes the shame off. We weren't lazy. We weren't incapable. We were operating with the wrong blueprint.
Exactly.
That said, if you're listening and something clicked today, if you're done shrinking, type "done" in the comments, all caps. Let's make it visible. If you have additional thoughts or a testimony, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well.
And if anyone has a question or wants my thoughts about making million-dollar decisions in their life or expanding their current financial situation, I'm happy to offer my ideas and advice in a future podcast.
That sounds wonderful. You all heard her. Put your questions in the comments and we'll reach out to you about featuring them in a future podcast. Well, that's it for the first episode in the series, The Miseducation of Wealth. I'm Simone, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Sundays with Simone. And in the meantime, use your dollars with intention and boldly lean into your common sense. Bye for now.